Hey class, it's Ashley and I'm back with another mentoring moment, and today I'm going to talk to you about 3 strategies to transition into in-demand fields. I know everyone wants to do work that's impactful, work that is interesting, work that pays well, and work where you really feel like you're having a real impact in the lives of real people. But it's hard sometimes to find those roles, to identify them, and to position yourself as a top candidate within them. But today, I'm going to talk to you about how to transition into in-demand fields. I'm going to share 3 specific fields that are in demand. I'm going to talk about maybe some of the things that you're doing right now that are keeping you out of these fields, and some strategies to address those issues to really get into fields that are in high demand. So I'm so thrilled to have you either watching live or watching on the replay. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you and to really help you think more strategically about how to transition into in-demand fields. And I know for a lot of folks, I serve a lot of career transitioners. I serve a lot of women who have degrees and experience and, training and credentialing in other fields, but that field is not serving them anymore. Maybe they don't want to do that work anymore. Or maybe they just got this degree, out of, it is what it is mentality. We talked about that recently. And now you're actually like, what am I doing that's meaningful? What can I do that's actually going to drive real results? And so I want to talk about what led me to really serving career transitioners and why my strategies work so well for women who are transitioning careers. And then I want to talk about maybe some of the things that you're already doing right now that are maybe hindering you from transitioning careers, and talk about how you can switch it up to actually drive results in your career development. So if you're excited for this conversation, throw some hearts up on the screen. I'm just excited to be in community with you today, to be talking to you about this important topic, and just be able to serve you really well by helping you actually identify some strategies that are going to drive results in your job search, particularly if you are transitioning fields. All right, so with that, let's dive in. So the first thing that and I'm referring to my notes over here if you see me looking away. Often, I see high achieving women who definitely want to transition careers. They're really looking to make more money and have more impact in their career. They feel like their current field isn't really making them any money. They're not doing work that they, really value. They're not doing work that they desire. And, they're like, how can I get out of this field? How can I do something that's more interesting? They see fields that are booming, right? Like maybe they, are following me or, following other career pages, and they see fields that are booming, or they know someone that's working in an industry and they the other person's like, I really love this industry. You should get into it too. And so they're driven, right, to transition careers. They're driven to do something new in their career. But the challenge comes in is how, right? How do I transition careers? How do I use what I have to get what I want? Do I need to go back to school? Do I need to have somebody put me on? Do I need to know somebody at the company, right? And so I think the biggest mistake that I see professional women making, or the sort of first place where they're making mistakes as they transition careers, is that they think, I need to get another degree, credential, or certification to transition careers. They think that degree, credential, and certification is a shoe-in to get into a new industry. And often they're disappointed, disillusioned, angry, and frustrated when that new degree, credential, certification doesn't yield a high paying, high impact role as soon as they get it, right? And I see this again and again, particularly with industries like education, technology, or ed tech, like the diversity, equity, and inclusion space, particularly in the fields like social work or social services. People are like, well, I need to get my degree. I need to get my credential. I need to get my licensure. I need to, credential, degree. And, you all know that in addition to my work with Mentor Me full-time, I also work full-time in higher education. So I'd be the last person to tell you degrees don't matter or education doesn't matter. It matters a great deal. But for career transitioners, instead of putting a new degree or credential first, I really want to invite you to leverage your existing degrees and credentials before gaining new ones, right? Too often I see high achieving women piling on degrees and credentials and certifications, but they don't don't know how to use the degrees, credentials, and certifications that they already have. And they certainly don't know how to use the degrees and credentials that they're gaining. And so they're left with this $60,000 piece of paper that they don't know how to use. And this often ends up being really like frustrating and anger inducing and annoying for women who are like, I'm trying to, I'm doing everything that I was told to do, right? Like, I'm trying to make more money. I'm trying to have more impact. I thought I needed a degree to get into this field. So I went back to school, or I'm in school right now, and I'm trying to leverage this degree, but it's not working. I don't know how. I feel like I'm going to have this credential, but I'm not going to have the experience or the expertise to back it up. I'm not sure how to articulate my experience in a meaningful way. And let me know if that resonates with you. If you definitely feel like I'm in a position where like I feel like, I have to have the degree, I have to have the credential, I've got to wait till this point until I transition career. So just throw some hearts up on the screen if you're like, yes, Ashley, that's me. I definitely have been in the space where I'm like, I got to wait till I get this. I got to wait till I get that. I got to wait until this happens, until I get this additional degree certification. I think I see a lot of people doing that. Or they feel like they need more experience in the field. They're like, I have to wait till I have 2 years of experience, or I have to wait until I have 5 years of experience, or I have to wait until I have 7 years of experience. Like this is the sort of the lie that exists in the world of career development, that you have to wait until you have a specific degree, credential, or certification, or you have to pay your dues, right? You have to wait until you have, 3 years of experience, or 5 years of experience, or 7 years of experience before you can do meaningful work and be paid well for your level of expertise. And I'm here to tell you that that's a flat out lie. And it's a lie that's used as a gatekeeper, right? It's a lie that's used as gatekeeping to keep high achieving women, in particular, out of the workplace and out of the workforce. And I would argue even more high achieving Black women. Because Black women are, some of the highest degree earners in the country right now. Like, Black women are out earning bachelor's degrees 2 to 1 from their male counterparts generally, and more than double of their white male counterparts, right? And so Black women are out here getting the degrees, honey. We're not short on credentials, but I think we are absolutely short on knowing how to leverage those credentials to get what we want in the workplace. And so if you're looking to learn how to transition into in-demand fields, the first thing that I want to teach you is how to leverage what you already have to get what you want. The degrees, the credentials, the certifications that you already have, we really want to focus on how can I use those to position as an expert in this industry, instead of always seeking out new credentials, new degrees, and new certifications. Because while you're waiting, organizations have problems, right? Organizations have problems, open positions, and a budget right now that they're looking to fill and use. And while you're like, I need to wait until this, and I need to wait until that, and I need to wait until that, employers are looking for problem solvers. They're looking for people to solve their organizational problems. And when you're able to position yourself as a problem solver, right? When you're able to position yourself as someone who has a level of expertise and wants to use that level of expertise to solve organizational problems, you're in a better position to drive results in your job search and find and secure positions that are prepared to pay you well for your level of expertise. And, the sort of idea of, let me wait till, I get another degree or credential, or let me wait until I know somebody. Let me see if I can get an insider. Let me see if I can get somebody to put me on, right? And let me know if that's ever been you. If you're like, let me see, I know so-and-so who knows so-and-so and who knows so-and-so. Or I used to work for their cousin, best friend, nephew, uncle. And so maybe they can say something, right? Like, you're trying to use this networking to like get an in at an organization. And one of the reasons why that doesn't work as fruitfully as you desire, particularly not in today's marketplace, is because the marketplace is moving so fast. The marketplace is moving so fast. And so while you're waiting on Susan, cousin, Michael, nephew, brother who used to work with someone, while you're waiting on networking or trying to find an in, employers are desperately seeking for people who can solve their organizational problems. And they're not necessarily waiting on a referral system. I think the referral system has less and less power today. What has much more power, and what I've seen be much more impactful with my mentees, is their ability to articulate the value that they they have in the marketplace, their ability to articulate the problems that they have solved at other organizations and in other industries into this new industry. Your ability to position yourself as someone who can solve problems in an organization, and whether the problem is a project or a system or a people, right? Like you're a problem solver with people, whatever the problem is, your ability to articulate and position yourself as a problem solver is the key metric that employers are looking for. And that's what's going to help you be a successful career transitioner. Because the truth is that problems are problems, right? And if you can solve a problem in the nonprofit space, you are likely able to solve a similar problem in the governmental space. If you can solve a problem in the education space, you can likely solve a similar problem in the healthcare space. If you can solve a problem in the corporate space, you can likely solve a similar problem in a community space, right? And in the public space. And so I think that often people are like, well, I need to get a new degree. I need to get a new credential. I need to wait on this. I need to wait on that. And what I'm finding is that employers are just looking for your ability to solve organizational problems. And moreover, they're really attracted. Employers are really attracted to career transitioners because they see them as innovators. They see them as entrepreneurs. They see them, employers see people who are transitioning careers as someone who's bringing into their organization some outside knowledge, some outside innovation, some outside thinking, some out of the box ways of doing things and solving problems into their organization. More and more, employers are not looking for the status quo. Unfortunately, for those who are already working in an organization, more and more employers are not looking to hire from within or to promote up, right? And so that is if you're working at an organization where you're hoping to get, this raise and promotion, I'm not saying it's not available to you, but I am absolutely saying that employers less and less are focused on internal candidate. They know that we're in the great, recession, right? Like they know that we are in the great migration. People are leaving jobs. There's a lot of talent out there, and employers are looking, they're throwing in their bids to get the highest talent, to get the person who has the greatest skill set, who they can pay well to do the great work that they've been doing in another industry, in this new industry. Like that's what employers are looking for today. And so your ability to, one, articulate the problem that you solve, and number two, to be able to articulate how you solve said problem is really impactful. And let's talk a little bit about that, like, right, how you solve problems. Because I think a lot of people are like, I'm a problem solver, I'm a team player, I'm a hard worker, I'm creative, right? A lot of people use these kinds of words to articulate their skill set, to articulate the way in which they do their work. But like I said, the marketplace right now is really saturated with so many people. Like, you know what? If I can't work from home, I'm not gonna work at all. Or with the panty, right? Like I don't want to do work that's not meaningful. If I can't do work that's meaningful that I really want to do, then I'm not gonna do it. So a lot of people are leaving the workforce, and now they're in the marketplace looking, and the employers are like, can I be the highest bidder? Can I pay you this much? Can I pay you that much to do this work, right? And so you need to be able to distinguish yourself in the marketplace. Your ability to distinguish yourself in a marketplace is strategy number 2 for transitioning to in-demand fields, right? So strategy number 1 is positioning yourself as a problem solver, being able to clearly articulate the problem that you solve in past industries and being able to articulate how you can do that, solve that same or similar problem in a new industry. The second strategy is your ability to stand out in the marketplace, because it's one thing to be able to position yourself as a problem solver, but everybody else trying to position themselves as a problem solver too. And so you need to be able to stand out in the marketplace. You need to be able to position yourself as a problem solver among problem solvers. You need to be able to articulate your value and your level of expertise at a higher level than your competitors, right? And so in a tight marketplace, phrases like I'm creative, I'm a team player, I'm a hard worker just aren't gonna cut it, because employers know that there's a lot of talent in the pool. I over the last, I would say 3 months, I've served on I've been the chair of 2 different search committees, and the talent was top talent. I mean, it was really competitive. And so and this is what I'm hearing from hiring managers everywhere. Like the competition is stiff, sis. And so if you're really looking to stand out in the marketplace, then it's critical, right? It's critical that you're able to articulate your skill set in an impactful way. So you need to be able to transition from I'm creative to I'm a futuristic and innovative thinker, right? You need to be able to transition from I'm a hard worker to my work drives results in the following meaningful ways, right? You need to be able to transition from I'm a leader, or, I can lead teams, to I'm an empathetic and energetic leader that drives results, for my staff and my team, right? You need to be able to articulate the impact of your work in a much more meaningful way than you ever needed to before, because the competition in the marketplace is so stiff. And I think that for people who are like, I really want to transition careers. I'm trying to get out of government. I really want to go into the nonprofit space. I'm trying to get out of nonprofit. I really want to go into the corporate space. I got to get out of the corporate space. I'm really wanting to go into education. Whatever that pathway is, your ability to articulate the impact of your work at a higher level is really a game changer for folks who are really trying to position at a higher level. No more is, I'm just resourceful gonna cut it, right? Like resourceful isn't gonna cut it. You need to be able to articulate the impact of your work. And the third strategy, the final strategy that I want to talk about in today's live, is your ability to communicate the delta. Right? Your ability to communicate the delta. It's not enough just to be able to, and the first strategy was knowing how to solve organizational problems and to be able to articulate the problems you solved in a previous industry into this new industry. And strategy number 2 is being able to leverage high skill articulation, or your ability to be able to transition from I'm creative, I'm a problem solver, I'm thoughtful or resourceful, to higher impact language. And the third strategy is being able to share the delta of your work, right? So that third strategy is being able to share the delta of your work. And what that means is your ability to articulate the transformational power of your work, right? Organizations should change and shift when you are a part of them. Organizations should no longer be the same when you leave them. Whether you've been there for a month or 7 years, the organization should not be the same once they encounter you, right? And so you need to be able to articulate the transformational power of your work. What in this organization has changed? What is better? What is more impactful? What results have been driven? Has spending reduced? Has spending increased? Have you transformed the way in which this organization works? Have you transformed a process or a system? Is the relationship with the community better? Is the relationship with customers better? Is the relationship with colleagues better? Is the relationships with students better? Is the process more streamlined? Are you saving more money in the organization? Have you all increased spending? And that's a good thing. Are you producing more in the work, right? So your ability to share the delta, to share the transformation that's happened in the organization since you've arrived, is the third, and I would argue one of the most key strategies to transition into high demand fields. When I think about, I have so many mentees who work in the HR space or desire to work in the HR space. And when I am helping them transition into HR related roles, we absolutely are talking about the work that they've done in other industries and how that work was people centered and how people transform under their leadership. It doesn't matter that they have a master's degree. It doesn't matter if they have a master's degree in HR or they have a certificate in benefits and payroll or whatever. That doesn't matter. Employers are looking for, have you solved this problem before? So let's just say that, before they were working in the nonprofit space and they were a program coordinator, right? And they were doing program coordination with community stakeholders in the nonprofit space. But they're really looking to transition into the HR space and do diversity, equity, and inclusion related work, diversity work in another industry, right? They're looking to stay in the nonprofit space, but transition to HR related work in that industry, right? So a lot of times people are like, well, I guess I got to go back to school. I got to get a degree. I got to get a certificate in HR. And it doesn't actually require that. Employers are are looking for, do you have demonstrated expertise? Do you have demonstrated experience solving organizational problems related to diversity, equity, and inclusion at this point in your career? Do you have that experience? Do you have that credential? Or do you have that experience? Have you done that work before? And your ability to articulate whether or not you've done the work is what employers are looking for. So an employer would be much more apt to hire someone who is working in a program coordinator role and to hire them as a specialist in HR if they were able to demonstrate how their work as a program coordinator was really driving results around equity and inclusion and justice, and they can do that work in an HR function or HR unit as well, right? Too often, people are very degree or credential centered. Individuals, job seekers are, and employers are very problem and solution oriented, right? And certainly, right, there are certain industries and certain fields, I think about counseling, right? In psychological services, you need to have a degree in counseling. You need to be a licensed practitioner in that industry to find and secure those roles. Absolutely. If you're a medical doctor or a nurse, right, you need to be able to have certain certifications and a medical degree and be board certified to do that work. But aside from those kinds of industries, it's more about your ability to articulate the impact of your work than it is the credential that you're seeking. And so more now than ever, I really want to help high achieving women really learn how to leverage what they already have to get what they want. Learn how to share the delta, share the transformation of their work, speak to the impact of their work before they go get a new degree or a new credential or a new certification. And so if you are watching today's live and you are looking to transition careers, I want you to DM me. I want to know two things. I want to know what industry you currently work in, and I want to know what industry you're seeking to transition into. So this live, definitely want you to DM me. If you're watching right now, just send me a personal message on Instagram. If you go to my profile, you can click message, and I want you to tell me what industry you're currently in, and I want you to tell me what industry you're seeking to transition into. This is a great opportunity for us to start a conversation. I just want to know more about you. I'll ask some other questions too, but that's where we're going to start. Just what industry you're currently in and what industry you're looking to transition into. I'm excited to dialogue more about this with you because I think it's really important that you know now that you know these three strategies, how to apply them, right? Because it's not enough to just know, okay, I can transition into new industries and here are three strategies to do it. I've taught those three strategies today, but then how do I use these strategies to actually get what I want? How do I find the jobs, that are I should transition into? How do I make sure, I'm a strong interviewer in those? How do I negotiate a salary? When I've been making maybe $15,000, $20,000 less than I should, how do I actually negotiate as I transition? There's lots of other pieces to it, but let's just start, right? Let's start where we started, right? Let's get started. And what I want you to do is I want you to DM me. If you're watching today's live and you're I really want to transition careers, I want you to tell me what industry you're currently in, and I want you to tell me what industry you're seeking to transition into. If you're watching on replay, this is still available to you. Even if you're watching on replay, you don't have to be watching live. Just shoot me a DM when you get to this point in the replay watch, because I want to know what industry you're currently in, and I want to know what industry you're transitioning into. My name's Ashley, and I'm so thrilled to have you on today's live to talk to you about how to transition into in-demand careers and to serve as a mentor for you to help you make more money and have more impact in your career. Thanks so much for watching today's live. I cannot wait to see you in my DMs. Thanks so much for watching. Talk soon. Bye.